This is the Real Relax Massage Chair Full Body, the one I brought home after a lot of late nights at the desk and sore lower back mornings. I wanted something I could actually use every day without planning a spa trip or fighting over a time slot at the gym's recovery corner. I've been living with it for a few weeks, and I'm going to tell you what it's really like to have this thing in the house and whether it actually earns the space it takes up. In the massage chair crowd, I'd put this right in that sweet middle zone, not entry-level flimsy, not ultra-luxury fancy. It's for someone who wants strong, real relief without paying the premium you see on boutique showroom models. If you love deep pressure, or you're on your feet all day, or you sit hunched over a laptop like me, this targets the stuff that actually hurts. If you're super sensitive to pressure, you can still make it work with the included back pad or a towel, but I'd keep that in mind before buying. Setup was almost zero drama. It arrived in one big box, mostly assembled. I only had to attach the footrest, which took a few minutes. The chair is heavy, so I slid it into place with help and called it a workout. Since then, it's lived in my living room and it feels like furniture, not a medical device. The faux leather looks clean and wipes down easily after a sweaty gym day. There are subtle LED lights on the side you can switch off if you don't want any glow at night. Day to day, I'm using three things the most. Zero gravity is my cheat code for unloading pressure off my spine. The moment my knees float higher than my heart, my lower back stops fighting the chair and the rollers feel like they sink in deeper. The heating in the waist area is legit, not scorching, and it takes about 5 to 10 minutes to warm up and loosen the lumbar zone. When I pair that with the Recovery or Relax Auto program, it's exactly what my back needs after lifting or sitting too long. And I didn't expect to use the phone holder and phone controller as much as I do, but it's great when your arms are in the compression sleeves and you want to tweak a setting or scroll. I've watched short videos, read articles, and adjusted intensity mid-session without fumbling for the main screen. Massage feel matters more than specs, so here's what it actually does to my body. The rollers track from my neck, down through my lower back, and into the glutes, so I get that continuous sweep that hits the spots other chairs miss. I can adjust roller width and intensity, and I do change it depending on the day. On tough days, I let it run stronger across the shoulder blades and mid-back, but I tone it down near the neck because I carry tension there, and I don't want to feel bruised the next day. The airbags around my arms, calves, and feet add this rhythmic squeeze that nudges circulation along. Nothing dramatic, just that gentle wave that tells my legs to stop being bricks. Foot rollers are no joke. They're strong. I wear thick socks most of the time because bare feet can be a little much for me. If you love intense sole work, you'll probably grin. If not, socks in a lower setting are your friends. I'm just under 6 feet, and the manual footrest extension works, but I do notice I need a bit of pressure to keep it right where I want it. Taller folks might wish it extended a touch further on its own. Noise is a low mechanical hum, kind of like a small air purifier running in the corner. I listen to the built-in Bluetooth speakers sometimes. They're not audiophile level, but good enough for calming playlists or a podcast. The white LCD touchscreen is brighter and cleaner than older models I've tried, easy to read in a dim room, and the pause button is clutch when the doorbell rings or the phone goes off. The app control has been handy once I set it up, especially because I can tweak a manual program on the fly without lifting my arms out of the sleeves. Child lock is there if you have curious kids roaming around, which I appreciate. On actual use, I rotate between a few modes. Relax in the evening if I want to wind down. Recovery after a workout, where the rollers dig deeper and the foot rollers go to town. I dabble with the stretch style program when my back feels tight. The airbags pin me in place and the chair reclines and lifts just enough to lengthen the spine. I don't use that every day, but when I feel crunchy, it helps. And on nights when I'm fried, I just go with the gentlest mode and the heat, put my phone in the holder, lean back in zero gravity, and let it do its thing for 15 minutes. Compared to what I used before, the difference is night and day. I used to have one of those basic massage seat pads with the 2 rolling nodes. It felt nice for 5 minutes. Then it just turned into repetitive pressure at the wrong angle, and it never reached my lower back correctly. The Real Relax hits way more of my back, and because it can push in and adjust width, it finds those knots next to my spine that used to send me to a human therapist. I've also tried some premium chairs in showrooms that cost way more. They were smoother in a few transitions and had a couple of extra bells I don't personally need. Did they feel fancier? Sure. Did they make my back feel markedly better than this one? Not really. For me, this sits at a point where the money goes into the parts that matter to my body: roller coverage, pressure, heat, and comfort. There are quirks. The footprint is big and you need space behind it for the full recline. The foot rollers can be too aggressive for some people. Arm and shoulder airbags feel a touch lighter than the back rollers, so I usually bump their intensity up one level. And while it arrived mostly assembled, moving a 179-pound chair is not a solo project, unless you like chiropractor visits. Value-wise, I'm happy with it. I use it almost every day, sometimes twice. When you actually put a chair like this into your routine, post-work, post-gym, or on stiff mornings, it stops being a novelty. My lower back feels looser, I sleep easier after a zero-gravity heat session, and my calves don't cramp up after long runs. If you're sensitive and prefer a light, fluffy massage, this might be more than you want, unless you keep the back pad on and the settings low. If you crave deep pressure and want something reliable that feels sturdy and looks decent in a living space. If you've got questions about the Real Relax Massage Chair Full Body, drop them in the comments. I'll answer based on how I actually use it. If you found this helpful, hit subscribe so you don't miss the next video, and tell me what features matter most to you in a massage chair.